Hi, I'm Ezelle from The Upcoming. Lovely to speak to you today, and congratulations on a fantastic series. How does it feel to be here at the European premiere of BFI Film Festival with high school?
It's so exciting. You know, when you're making a television show, you never think that, I mean, you just assume it's going to be on TV and you don't think that you get to travel and see it on a big screen. So it's really special.
And let's start with you, Clea. For you co-produced this, created this, directed it. What was the appeal of the story for you? And for those who haven't seen it, can you sort of give us a bit of background to the story of what it's all about?
Absolutely. Well, High School is based on the memoir written by Tegan and Sara that's about their coming of age, their discovering their sexuality, and discovering music. So the show, I adapted the show from the book, and it really, when I read the book, it was the first time that I came across something that really felt like my coming of age. You know, I was a queer kid in the 90s, and it was such a specific time, and their book captured it so beautifully, and it felt like such a great such a rich story to bring to into a television show.
And for you girls, really interesting. How did you get involved in the project? I think maybe there was a TikTok discovery or something. I sort of had a little nose around and saw a couple of YouTube things and thought, yeah, I can see why you were picked. So can you tell us a little bit about that journey for you guys?
Yeah, well, I was just making TikToks. I started making TikToks in 2019 and would have to convince Seazynn to be in some videos with me. And soon enough, they started getting attention, and I made a couple accounts, but each time they would get attention from people, and one of them Tegan found and saw us and thought that we were, like she saw her younger self in us through our videos and thought that we should audition.
I mean, I'm a twin myself. So, I remember sort of making little things with my sister as well as I was growing up. How did it feel working on set together in this kind of intense thing as well? Did you have a good working relationship together as twins?
Yeah, I mean, I would say our relationship in and out of work is really good and healthy, and being able to be there for each other while working on set was really helpful, and to have somebody by my side the whole time going through the same thing and just like really understanding of the whole process was really helpful. And yeah, I mean, it was really fun, and we didn't get into too many fights, so that's good.
And Clea, for you, I mean, the show was a really well-trodden journey of teenage life. It's kind of high school friends fitting in against this 90s backdrop of kind of grunge and rave culture. What do you think sets this series apart and makes it so engaging for viewers?
You know, when we were making the show, it was really important that it feel authentic. And I think, when you're telling stories about teenagers, it can get so salacious and, over dramatized. And, and the reality of being a teenager is like, there's a lot more innocence to it, because you are discovering things for the first time and you aren't an expert in anything yet. So, we really wanted to capture that, the innocence and the earnestness of what, the teenage experience, particularly in the 90s, was, and not try to make anything any bigger or more dramatic than it was. Because I think, when you're that age, those feelings are so big, and you don't need to add any fuel to the fire of youth.
That's true. And actually, very interesting. Did you meet Tegan and Sara quite early on in the process? And did you read the memoir, or did you kind of push that aside so you could bring your own elements to the story? And what was it like sort of meeting them and talking things through with
them? Yeah, we met them. When did we meet them? When we were in LA, before going off to Calgary to shoot, we had met Tegan at her house, and we had hung out a couple times. We had practiced music a couple times together, and then we had met Sara also at Tegan's house, and hung out with the two of them together. What was the rest of the question?
No, and did you read the memoir, or did you kind of push that aside and bring some of your own elements to it and take it as it came with the script?
Oh, I see. No, I didn't read it. I've read 2 chapters, but I can't even tell you why. I don't read, but I don't read. I do want to read it though, but yeah, that's what I have to say.
Okay, and for you, obviously you've worked with the twins' mum, Clea, before, Kobe Smulders. What was it like working with her again, and what do you think she brought to the series?
Well, Kobe is incredible, and when I was adapting the book, she was the only person that I wanted for that part. So thank God she said yes, because I can't imagine anyone else doing it. But Kobe brings, a strength without having, without overdoing it. She just has this sort of like groundedness within her that is very real. And it was really important that the role of Simone be unique and not just feel like this sort of stock mom character on a television show. Like, we wanted her to be a 3-dimensional character who was complicated and messy and, didn't always do everything the right way. And Kobe was, she was able to capture the nuance of Simone and really make her a very special, grounded character. And the music really becomes a storyteller here. It's kind of its own character, isn't it? So could you talk through the music choices? Were they Tegan and Sara's initial choices in the memoirs, or did you kind of adapt them to fit in with the story as you adapted it to screen? The music that they play in the show, or the music, or like the soundtrack?
In the soundtrack and in the show, actually.
The music they play in the show is all the music that they wrote at that time. So it's all their high school music. But then the soundtrack, Nirvana and Smashing Pumpkins were bands that were very important to Tegan and Sara in the shaping. For Sara, it was Smashing Pumpkins, and for Tegan, it was Nirvana. Like, that really shaped who they became as musicians. So it was vital that we had their music in the show. But everything else really was sort of like my dream soundtrack from what I was listening to when I was in high school. It was really a great opportunity to just put all my favorite songs in a show.
And for you girls, acting, I mean, you hadn't acted, the sort of debut feature and debut acting experience. How was that kind of for you? Would you go on if there was a season 2? Would you, would it acting be something that you were really interested in pursuing after this?
I'm sorry, you said, would I continue acting?
Yeah, and did you enjoy the process, being that it was you hadn't previously acted professionally before? How did this feel doing this? And then would you continue to do this? Did you enjoy the process?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was like so brand new, and I was like figuring a lot of things out that I would have had no idea about that goes on into making a TV show. So that was really awesome to be able to learn a lot of new things. But I mean, I had such a good time, and I'm just like super grateful for all the people that I was able to meet and being able to make that experience what it was, which was amazing. And yeah, I mean, I just hope that we get a season 2 so I can continue working with all the same people. And I just like fell in love with it, and I loved doing it. It was so much fun to me.
And how, for you guys, how did you see Tegan and Sara watch this, and what was their reaction to seeing their memoirs on screen?
What was the question?
What did Tegan and Sara think? They were really happy with it, you know, and that, I mean, I was personally terrified because we're very good friends and I didn't want to, you know, I didn't want them to be unhappy. So it was a real relief that they liked the show that we made.
And for viewers watching it, what would you like them to take from the series?
I mean, I mean, there's something in the show I think there's a character in the show that everyone can relate to. And I think, you know, we were all that even though we're all having such internal experiences, that feeling of, you know, that feeling of self-discovery, no matter what age you are, is universal. And hopefully that, you know, this show where these characters are all sort of kind of growing and struggling and succeeding and failing, you know, that they, you know, that it makes the people watching it feel like maybe they are less alone.
And can we expect a season 2?
I mean, I certainly hope so. We don't know yet. We don't know, but hopefully we'll have that answer.
Okay, well, thank you very much for speaking to me today and enjoy the rest of your time. Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye.